Hello, welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James. I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How's things, mate?
Uh, Good. I can move around without
You can leave the house.
affecting people. Subject Zero is in the shed.
Yeah, in case anyone hadn't seen it on social media over the week, I managed to get COVID. I would have had it by the time we did the show last week as well. I just didn't realise at that particular stage. I'm now pretty certain that I think all that shit that I was talking about school debs last week, I'm pretty sure I got it there. So, love and life.
Those damn kids.
Yeah, I basically had a job
Damn
where I was meant to stand in the
infectious
doorway,
kids.
and exactly right.
Wear a
They're
mask.
they're gross at the best of times, let alone if there's COVID bats around. But yeah, I had a little job that I was given on the night, which was basically just to linger in a doorway there where they all come streaming out, and I meant to give them some little instructions to what they're meant to do and how to move through the space. And I did that, but I guess that means it put me in front, face to face with every single one of them, and it only takes one of them to have COVID, and you got it. So I got it, and then it turns out I start hearing messages from staff over the course of the week. They go, "Oh, there's 10 kids out with COVID. There's 20 kids out with COVID. There's a fair few more that are out with COVID." I'm like, oh my god, all right.
Right, find the kid and... I don't know what you're going to do with him.
Revenge will be swift when I'm allowed to return to work again. That's another weird thing. Is like there's so many industries out there at the moment. 2024. We're not in the midst of the pandemic anymore, but that you catch COVID, and it's basically your call as to whether you do or don't work or not. It's just kind of more about how you're feeling. But teaching is still one of those that if they catch wind of it, you're off. It's fine because it's not my sick leave. I've managed to score some extra bonus leave and get a week off work and play a lot of video games. It's been cool.
Say, is it actually 30 kids or just 30 kids who say, "Oh, I've got COVID too"? Just
Well, no, they're different. They're just like,
COVID.
using me as an excuse. Go, oh shit, he's out. All right, sweet. We're all sick.
cool. I can get a week off too.
The coordinator's not going to get me.
Go get a COVID test off the internet and say, "Yep, here's mine." Done. Or go find someone with COVID and go.
I mean, it's not hard to fudge it, right? Or
Of
you
course
only
not.
need
Go find one.
or you just need
find
one
one,
test
yeah.
and just keep taking different photos of it. Like it's
Yeah. And then you can just give it to someone who has COVID and just go, "Right, thanks. Here's your money."
pretty much. So,
Who's going to answer it?
something that I, depending on when it ends up being, something I might get to enjoy while I'm still laid over with COVID is a pretty easy armchair ride to watch the PlayStation Showcase, which sounds like it's going to be this week. There'd been a few rumors it was going to be like the last week or thereabouts of May. That kind of narrowed down to specifically this coming week. Hopefully by the time this episode goes live on the Tuesday, that won't have happened yet. But if it does, it's a good thing we're recording a little bit earlier than usual. I'll have it all edited, ready to go, and we'll drop it sooner. So if you see this on any time other than Tuesday at 7 a.m, we were organised and we've pulled the trigger early on it. But as is usually the way when it comes to big gaming events of different sorts, we're going to make some dodgy predictions. So last year's showcase was a bit of a flop in the eyes of a lot of people. They leaned pretty heavily into live service. And it seems like, I mean, there's obviously been some successes like Helldivers 2, for example, but it seems like PlayStation for the most part is maybe drifting a little bit away from that again. We've obviously learnt that they've changed some executives at the top. Herman Hulse is now not just head of first party, but he's like split the CEO role in half and taken one half of it. I doubt that's going to have any significant change for this particular showcase, but it'll be cool nonetheless. So, Matto, get us going. Maybe we'll just bounce back and forth one thing at a time and knock things off our individual lists if it turns out there's a double up. What are you expecting from PlayStation this week, next week, whenever it happens to be?
To start off with, you just said it then. I reckon the two new CEOs will come out and say, "Hi, my name's Herman."
No, in fact, they'll just stand there with this. That's it.
I don't know about that. Some people, the PC people, will be upset.
Sorry for Helldiving.
Or anyone that can't play the game in selected countries will be upset. Which I won't care anyway, because...
Yeah, apparently those people still can't... Like, the people in those different regions still can't access the game, even though PlayStation's kind of backflipped on the decision.
Yeah, it is a very strange one. I don't understand it all, but... Yeah. But that's my first one. They're just going to say... They'll say, Herman sounds very German, so... He's
where's
not
he
German.
Where's Gorilla from? Finland? No, where are they?
No, not Finland.
Oh,
Not Finland. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's not Austria. Where's CD Projekt Red? No, not Oslo. I'm just random.
They're
Sweden.
they're in Amsterdam.
Oh, Netherlands.
It's in Netherlands.
Oh, there you go. So he's not German. Close to Germany, not quite.
They're all the same in Europe, right? No, I'm kidding. Um,
Say that to a European.
yeah, no, they'll. I mean, it's the difference in the way. I mean, you can't even say that within Australia. The different states. No, we call them potato cakes, not potato scallops. All that sort of stuff. So.
God, it's like, oh, it's this, it's that. Like, it's a scooter, not a pot. Like, what the hell are you
Oh,
talking about?
yeah. I learned recently that the South Australians call pots what we call a pot. They call a schooner. I'm like, oh, this is awful.
It's just stupid. How can one country have not the same understanding? It's Palmer, not Palmy. You
Yeah, there's that too. That's
it.
traumatizing when Macca's had like some Parma burger or something they were doing. They called it a Palmy thing. I'm like, nah, this is not okay.
This is out of control. That's
At
absolutely
least pander to the locals of the state that you're selling it in.
That would
But
make
anyway,
more sense.
they didn't.
But
And
that'd be
yeah,
the first.
just like that, Europeans are very different as well. So go on though.
So yeah,
Herman.
so Herman and I don't know the other guy.
I can't remember his
I
name.
kind of forgot his name because Herman is just a very, I would say, not strange name. I know the other one's more sounds Japanese.
Well, also Herman's obviously been a pretty prominent figure for a while, so he's an easy one to recall. So effective June 21st, Hideaki Nishino will be appointed CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Platform Business Group, and Herman Holst will be CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment's Studio Business Group. So they technically haven't started. They don't start for another 2 weeks, but well, at least in title. But yeah, I'd agree with you. It makes sense, especially for Nishino. It makes sense for him to kind of get introduced because Herman's at least got a profile. He's been in the showcases the last few years as the head of first party. But it'd be a good opportunity, I think, to introduce the new face at the top, considering some of the announcements that might be more under his arm of the CEO status that might potentially pop up. Which then I guess then can segue over to one of my predictions then, which is the PS5 Pro. It's been rumored for quite a while, and I think that is almost a walk up at this point. It's been rumored for a while. It's supposed to be coming out late this year. This showcase is May. Presumably the console launches maybe October-ish, something like that. At this point, I think that's probably the right time for them to reveal it and get the thing going. Maybe they don't necessarily show off the console, but they just kind of say, hey, we've got an upgraded console coming later this year, stay tuned for more information, something like that. But a bit like how they announced it's a totally different beast, but like how they announced the PlayStation Portal, which was like, we've got it's called, what they call it, Project Q or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was something silly.
And then more on that later on, and then they, a couple months later, they kind of pulled the curtain back properly and then launched it in certain regions before the end of that year. Obviously, us, it was January or February, but yeah, I think the PS5 Pro is almost a walk up. There's so much reporting about it now. It sounds like it's been in the hands of developers for quite some time, and they want to give it 12 months out there in the market before GTA 6 comes along.
Well, it makes sense. You want a powerful console to run a powerful game. You don't want it to catch fire, which no console has ever done, unless there's all those jokes about playing Spider-Man 2 on your PS4 and all the jokes about that.
Or people who like kind of ran vapes through their Xbox Series X, so it just looked like it was steaming at the time. Good value.
Xbox had to put out messages saying,
Please
vape.
don't do that.
Please don't do that. Stop it.
Yes. Back over to you though.
Yes. My next one is, we saw a little bit of a trailer last year. When, I can't remember.
Yep.
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh yeah.
Because we haven't seen anything since the trailer of Snake in the swamp. I can't remember. It was one of the. Don't think it was the showcase. I think it was one of the.
No, I think you're right. I think it was the showcase. It was one of those things that popped up. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything since. So, I don't know if we'll get a release date or, I don't know, gameplay trailer. Don't give me another cinematic trailer. I have no care for him anymore. My thought is, if you put that much effort into your cinematic trailer, your game's going to be rubbish because all your time and effort should have been on the game. of the
Look,
trailer.
to be fair, Kojima would do things that way as well. He'd make sure it was a really splashy cinematic thing as well. So if they're trying to respect him and his work, I suspect Konami aren't, but maybe the developers themselves are trying to respect him and the work in the first place, then I get kind of opening with a CG trailer, but yeah, there's probably been a little while without kind of showing the moment to moment how things have been upgraded, improved, and changed, and that sort of thing.
The more important thing, who's going to be the voice of Snake?
Surely David Hayter won't be back as much as that's obviously the right call.
Dave Bautista.
Who did?
I don't know. It's Keith Sutherland. Yeah.
Kiefer Sutherland did. Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe that was a one-off. Who knows? He might be back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably not doing much. 24 hasn't been on for the last 10 years. Surely he's got some time up his sleeve to do
true.
some voice acted
It's been a while for 24. I miss 24. Good show.
on Disney Plus. If you got Disney Plus.
Oh my god, is it?
I think so.
I'm getting all around that.
I swear it was on Disney Plus. I could be lying.
No, I think
So-
you're probably right.
Fox. Yeah, Fox. And who brought Fox? Disney.
Disney. Oh, I'm gonna.
I'm pretty certain it is Disney Plus. Like
I'll give it. I'll give it a bit of a look while. Oh yeah, new phone. Who dis?
Who this? That's.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
There's a deep cut.
Long. New phone. Who this? Jesus.
Well, I guess my next one, I'll piggyback on the Konami theme and talk about Silent Hill 2, because that's obviously been in development for a while, and there's been a lot of talk about that one being a 2024 launch. So presumably Bloober Team shows up. That whole project is a really interesting one though, because it seems like there's so much they want to say and do, but there's not much that Konami is letting them say or do, and so it's creating this real kind of rift between developer and publisher, and Silent Hill 2 is just kind of trapped in the middle, and it leaves, I think, for most of us who are kind of watching from the outside, a little unsure about whether this game's actually going to be any good or not, because obviously the core of Silent Hill 2 is fantastic, but the studio in Bloober Team hasn't got the best of track records, so I don't know at this point. But oh yeah, look at that, 24. Good on you, Disney Plus.
I knew they were good for something
Yeah.
besides Marvel and Star Wars. 24.
Oh, so good.
Classic.
Oh my god, Lost is on there as well.
Yeah, anything Fox related.
The
of course.
best
Fox,
show of
Fox.
all time.
The most expensive pilot ever made, and the person in charge of
Is that even the case anymore? I feel like Game of
Probably
Thrones probably
not.
would have overtaken it, but
Oh, it did have a big explosion, aeroplane explosion. No,
yeah,
I
probably not.
say all happened in Game of Thrones. A small kid got pushed out of a building. That's all that
True.
happened. Plus a few other things. Peter Dinklage slapping a small child.
Most expensive. I'm glad we're like spinning off in this direction. I'm now googling it, but yeah, I guess that was my one though. Silent Hill. What have you got? Oh,
Well,
there we go. There's my answer. A show
we go.
called Vinyl. I've never heard of it. Another
Oh,
HBO
I've
drama
never heard of it.
spearheaded by
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Even more expensive than Boardwalk Empire, Westworld. Do you remember that show Terra Nova? That was more expensive than
That
Lost
was-
apparently.
Yeah, and it was horrible.
Lost is number 6 on this list. It cost $14 million.
14 million.
Netflix's musical drama The Get Down is number 5. Boardwalk Empire number 4. That's 18 million for that one. Terra Nova $20 million. Westworld was 25 million, and then this
What's the first-
Vinyl show, just the first episode.
25 million.
And then number 1 is Vinyl at $30 million. And yet I've never heard of the show.
Okay.
That's maybe more of a me thing. Anyway, yeah, back to game stuff. So
To be honest, I haven't heard of it either. But we'll continue on the Kojima bandwagon.
oh,
Not bandwagon. That's been a bit harsh. On the Kojima train.
Kojima theme.
The Kojima, yes, theme. And I'm going to put in Death Stranding 2.
Cool.
I'd say we'll do what was an OD, just some pointless trailer with Norman Regis and whatever other celebrities Kojima's just dragged into. Oh, the Fanning kid actor.
Dakota
Ellie.
Fanning. Oh
The Dakota Fanning or Ellie
no, hang on.
or the sister.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. It's one of the Fannings. I don't know which one.
Yeah, I don't
You
know
can
either,
Google
but
that one too if you want. I can Google that one.
that's all right.
But same again. I don't know if it's going to be floating heads or another stupid, crack this code and
Yeah,
you're not
L
going to
L
figure it
Fanning, L Fanning.
out. Oh, yes, the one from Super 8. That one.
Yeah, right. I'm so out of touch with actors these days, but I saw a video of Kojima this morning just on the red carpet with George Miller for Furiosa,
Oh, Mad
the
Max.
Mad
How
Max
the hell
thing.
did-
Because
He's
him and
just
George
everywhere.
Miller are like this, like they're thick as thieves, those two.
I swear he's just a clone of Kojima's everywhere. They just appear.
He can't I don't know how he makes video games. There's no time, not with all the other stuff he's doing. The number of people he's welcoming into the studio, or does he just get them in the room, take the photo, and go, okay, you can write on the wall. I'm going to go back and make a video game now, and you can watch and try and learn something if you like.
I think hanging out with Aquaman at one stage too is like, yeah,
Probably.
have a beer, Aquaman. It'll just, I'm pretty sure if you say, oh, has he been with this person? I'd say a 1 in
The answer's yes.
3 chance, yes, he has. You scratch your head and go, oh, look, he's with this dude now. He's with this dude. He's got, what, 2, 3 games on the go at the moment?
Yeah,
And bring back PT. You
True.
cowards.
true. Bring it back.
Or maybe that's what they can put on the PS5 Pro.
PT back. It's behind the PS5 paywall. You can only get it that way.
PT Pro. And then you can see the real visual experience of the PS5 Pro.
We're doomed. But yeah, Death Stranding. I mean, it's hard to kind of predict what exactly you get. It'll just be a loose, crazy trailer, and it makes sense that it would show up. I think they've already said it's 2025. I think there's a trailer we got late last year, the Game Awards or something like that. I think that confirmed. I'll see if I can double check, but
And it was a trailer for Death Stranding 2.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, no, there was. Yeah, there was the baby. That's right. I remember it now. Norman Reedus had a baby. Or was holding a baby.
Oh, so what was the?
That's
There was
all it
another.
was.
There was another event that he did show up at. So I'm looking at like the world premiere trailer, which was, of course, the world
Wasn't
premiere
the-
trailer
Was
from
it
the Game
Walk
Awards
of
in
Fame?
2022. So where's? But there's been a second trailer. I'm sure of it.
Let's say we could just predict. Let's say Golden Globes, Grammys, the Saturn Awards.
When I typed DS2, it just
Geist?
keeps taking me to
Was it
Dark Souls 2.
Geist? Dark Souls 2.
As soon as because I just typed DS2 because that's what he called it in the first place. And
Oh right. Yes, all those idiot.
yeah, there was a trailer back in February with a state of play. Let me scrub to the end. I'm sure. Yeah, 2025 was when they dropped a date on it there.
There you go.
So
It
it still checks out that there could be a trailer. Kojima doesn't miss an opportunity to show off what he's doing, and it's been 3 months now since the last trailer, so well overdue.
I say if you just tell Kojima, hey, do you want to turn up here? He's probably going to say yes.
But there is a possibility he wouldn't. Like I could see him, and you referenced obviously OD before. That's the title he's doing with Xbox, and Xbox needs to go all out right now. So maybe he's kind of putting something together for that. And with Death Stranding being re-revealed somewhat recently, they maybe don't feel the push to have to do anything there yet. Or sorry, he doesn't. I'm sure PlayStation would like it, but he doesn't feel the need. So it'd be an interesting one anyway. Next one for me, I'll kind of stick with the Japanese sort of theme. Resident Evil 9 from Capcom. I feel like that's going to show up. It seems highly likely from a few rumors that have been bouncing around anyway from sources who, when it comes to horror games, haven't really put a toe wrong up to this point. So Resident Evil 9 feels like a really obvious one. They're kind of due. When did Resident Evil 8, was it 2020 or 2021? Or
No, I think it was
Village.
earlier than that.
Resident Evil. Oh no, actually no, because we were playing 2 was 2019. Because it was a contender for Game of the Year in a pretty quiet year.
Wasn't 218? I
Damn
feel like there was Village.
No, 2 was definitely. I'll check it now, but I'm sure it was January 2019. And that was because that was a GOTY contender in a pretty quiet year. So I was shocked that a Resident Evil game was my Game of the Year in any year ever, but it was.
It was Village.
So then 3 remake came out the year after, so that was the first year of the pandemic. Village would have been 2021, I reckon.
Okay, so then last year was 4 remake.
Yeah, 2021. So then 2022, they must have missed a year. Last year was
Must
4
say so.
remake.
Yeah, 4 remake. So yeah, the next year 9.
Yeah, they just skipped 2022. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it feels like we're due. It's been 3 years. The talk is that it's a January, February 2025 sort of release. So that ends up becoming close to 4 years, which feels crazy. That amount of time between Village and 9 already, but seems to check out. Whether it's Ethan Winters or anything like that remains to be seen. But yeah, it feels like we're due. Take it over.
Right, so my next one is one that has been leaked. I just can't remember when it was meant to be released. Wolverine.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because I can't remember when they on that list when it was meant to get released. I can't remember if it was next year, this year, or
So yeah, from our Insomniac leak episode, and that was a couple of years out in the end. I think it was like 2026 because then, and I guess
got pushed out.
I'll link it to the other predictions I had that were kind of around Insomniac. Venom was meant to be dropping in the middle, and there was all the talk about Spider-Man 2 DLC.
Well, that was my other one too.
So we could probably bundle all three of those things kind of in together, because yeah, Venom was the one that was meant to kind of appear in the middle, and that kind of makes a bit of sense when you think about how, like, spoilers for people, but there's that sequence where you play as Venom in Spider-Man 2, and that was incredibly well developed in terms of like Venom's skill set and stuff. It was a lot of resource to throw at a very short segment. But of course, if you're then making a full game, you go, okay, cool, no worries, we can justify this, get the moveset right, and then we can just transfer it across and sprinkle a little bit on top, and it's good to go.
Yeah, it was only about 5 minutes long, but it was a very cool 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Of just Venom and all of his moves.
Yeah.
And abilities.
So I could realistically see all three of those things appearing. I could see the Spider-Man DLC, because if that's true, then that obviously has to come out this year. I could see Venom, because that's then supposedly the title for next year. And then I could see Wolverine, because not because they necessarily want to, but because of the leak and because all that gameplay got out, they'll want to be like, no, but this is what it really looks like. They'll want to try and, I guess, course correct the messaging a little bit. A bit like how important it was that after, I mean, not that Rockstar needed to rush, but when it came to GTA 6 and the gameplay came out, and just the importance of them showing, no, this is what the game looks like when it's done with that trailer. I think Wolverine kind of needs that little shot in the arm as well, just to kind of course correct with all the people that are saying, oh no, but it looks like shit. Like, it's because you're a dipshit and you don't understand how video games are developed.
Yes. I mean, I scratched my head. I was like, oh, why does it look like this? I think it's early stages, you moron.
Exactly.
You knew how games were made. So when you go make a cake, it's not just magically made like that.
Yeah. Things take time. Good things take time.
Yes. But no, it's just impatient morons. They, I want it to look like this. It is not a fine looking barbecue. It's not meant to look like that. It'll look better.
Yeah.
Time.
Just give it time.
Be calm, people. Be calm.
So yeah, there's those three there. I think 2 out of the 3, but potentially even all 3 could appear. Venom, I guess, just depending on whether it in fact is true or not, or the DLC, sorry, whether it's true or not. I went Capcom last time. I'll go Capcom again. Monster Hunter Wilds to turn up.
Oh yes.
Yes. Just to show off a new trailer, and it's the anniversary year of it. I tweeted out actually maybe an hour or two before the show a little thing that just kind of popped into my head, a golden ticket for Capcom this year in terms of just continuing the celebration, is that they should the Monster Hunter games that were on the PSP, well PS2, but then kind of made their way to PSP. They should absolutely be announcing those for PlayStation Plus Classic, like the premium tier. You could just go and pick up those PSP games. PlayStation are looking to put as many PSP games up there on the store as possible, and they are walk-up winners. To play them in HD, like I as we kind of know, I didn't really jump on Monster Hunter until World, but like I've only got one of the PSP games, and it's Freedom Unite, which is kind of the the best version of 2 that was on the PS2 made its way to PSP. Like, but that's on my Vita, ready to go. Like, I just conveniently enough had the Vita handy, but one of the few people out there that might still actually play a Vita in 2024. But yeah, I think that's an obvious thing that they should really take the opportunity to announce, but also show off some more Wilds. It feels like that's a good opportunity for PlayStation, but a great opportunity for Capcom as well. They did say they were going to have more, I think, in this kind of mid-year sort of window. I think it's just a matter of whether Keighley's got it or not, because Keighley was where they announced Monster Hunter Wilds in the first place at the Game Awards. With Xbox wanting to try and paint a rosy picture, I'm sure they'd be hoping / probably working with Capcom to make sure it's not at a PlayStation thing, so that at least when the game gets shown off next, people can see the Xbox logo next to it. But not sure. Either way, I think it's due, so I'm excited for that too, because I like even next month the Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2 games come to PlayStation, not Xbox, but they come to PlayStation next month as well.
Ooh.
The original game was on the 3DS. That's got a
PlayStation.
Hey,
Wow.
yeah, 3DS I think it was. It's coming to Switch for the first time. The sequel, Monster Hunter Stories 2, was a Switch and PC game. The original was a 3DS game. It's now coming to Switch, but also PlayStation, and then 2 is coming to PlayStation as well. Xbox is getting nothing in that little scenario. But again, Monster Hunter's like and now Monster Hunter Now is still going crazy. I did see Niantic's name was listed for with Jeff Keighley as one of the partners that we're going to be presenting with him. There's just going to be Monster Hunter all over the place at the moment, and I reckon PlayStation stage is a good one though for Wilds. So he's hoping. Back over to you.
I think this might be a bit of a curveball, but maybe we get a sneak peek of The Last of Us Season 2.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not so much. Not Part 3. That's probably be there too. Who knows? Or a trailer. I don't know. But I feel like get a small snippet of the trailer for Season 2 of The Last of Us. Don't know what they're going to call it though. Just probably Season 2. That'd be... Or Part 2. Who knows?
When did filming start?
I think they're done. I think they've wrapped up filming.
Oh really?
Maybe. I could be jumping the gun here.
Filming began in British Columbia in February 2024 and is set to run until August. So it's not done yet, but Season 2 is slated for 2025. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Don't see why not.
I don't think the game will be a thing yet, but did you check out that documentary Grounded 2 that came out with Last of Us Part 2 remastered? I think you can watch it on YouTube, so you don't necessarily have to have there was a little sequence, so the whole thing was kind of the Apple cart was upset. It was meant to be a full-on documentary, just like the original one, but then that kind of got blown out of the water because the key periods at the end was when COVID set in, and so everyone was working from home. You can't get cameras involved in the ways they were before, so there was kind of this awkward cut. They kind of talk about it a little bit, and then you got these interviews with Neil Druckmann and a few others after the fact, and Neil addresses like he's didn't think we were going to do a third one, but I found the idea. Like he's I wasn't going to do it unless we had an idea that we believed in, but I think I found it. The question mark for a lot of people around that is, when was that little sequence recorded? Was that recorded 2022, late 2021, when all the restrictions were lifted, and so the studio, the cameras have come straight back in, or did they record that just prior to the Last of Us Part 2 remastered, which means that it's probably another 12-18 months behind. And how much resource was consumed by The Last of Us Online, which is now cancelled. There's a whole bunch of things around that makes it really interesting, let alone the talk about new IPs and those sorts of things too. Like they want to do a new IP as well as The Last of Us Part 3. So I don't think we'll get a new Last of Us game of any sort, but geez, can you imagine if they did though?
Oh, just imagine. This would be exactly the same when The Last of Us Part 2 came out, or the trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, and everyone was going crazy. then angry for certain reasons, which I don't really care for. They can all go away, and I just laughed. I thought, idiots.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And it'd be interesting. Like any teasers around The Last of Us season 2 as well. Like how much Joel do you see? I won't say anything more than that, but like I think I saw a great. I'll have to try and find it while we're continuing the chat. But I saw like a tweet from about like there was the two photos that came out. One of them had Joel in it. Daniel Ahmad, who's Z huge, where like yeah, he's one of the data analysts out there. Had an awesome reply to someone who'd kind of shared the screenshots. I'll see if I can scrub through and find it while we go. But I laughed hard at that. Oh, hang on, there we go. Shinobi602, again, prominent person on Twitter, usually around kind of discounts and sharing those sorts of details, said, first look at Joel and Ellie in HBO's Last of Us Season 2. And he'd posted the two photos that were out there of both Joel and Ellie. And then Daniel responds saying, also the last look at Joel. Because we kind of know where that goes. So,
spoiler.
People are not afraid. Like if you're a gamer, people just aren't afraid to spoil The Last of Us for all these TV people, which is a bit of a dick move. I don't like it, but when you're kind of in a little echo chamber of gaming people and then talking about this TV show, it's a bit of fun.
I'll just say, yeah,
the jokes you can make are a lot of fun.
It's like, yeah, but the thing happens like the game's like, oh, did you know this happens? Like, yeah, I played the game. Of course I know what's gonna happen. I was like, oh, they're gonna die here, and you just laugh at it because it's in TV form instead of video game form, but you just laugh at it and go, that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've made the mistake a couple of times at work. There's a few people that are aware of the game and kind of what happens in that, and they ask me the question about, oh, how are they going to do this? And I just start talking straight away because no big deal, forgetting that like it's now grown beyond a game and there's dozens of people on my staff that are all about The Last of Us now, and I'm just like straight up spoiled what happens to Joel. Like, sorry guys, my bad.
You make fun of video games all these years, and all of a sudden, haha, the table is turned.
Yeah,
I can tell you all I want.
So
you get upset.
My next prediction isn't Naughty Dog, but it relates to Naughty Dog because they created the franchise in the first place. There was like a live promo, like a live action trailer that came out about PlayStation stuff about 12 to 18 months ago or something like that. And you saw a whole lot of references to a whole lot of PlayStation games. I think you know the sort where they kind of get actors to come in and pretend they're Aloy or whoever it happens to be. And everything there linked to a game that was either out or upcoming. And then there was just this 5 seconds of someone who she was like young, female, had like a lit torch, like as in a wooden, like a stake.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. Yes,
looked like Uncharted. And if people know how Uncharted 4 ends, and I won't spoil that one, but if people know how kind of,
I'll spoil it for you. You play Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, good times.
That's no joke. That's actually what happens with old controls as well, which is 10 times more annoying. But
so yeah, they've kind of. I'm wondering if they were kind of alluding to that, and I mean it's now been 12 to 18 months or thereabouts since that video came out, and I just feel like you don't put that in there unless there's a game tied to it, and I feel like it's time. And considering how quiet PlayStation has been about pretty much everything, it checks out. It feels like they're kind of okay. We've been able to rely on these third-party exclusives, whether it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, whether it's Rise of the Ronin, all of those sorts of things. Final Fantasy 16 last year, like they've been able to fill the gaps between their quiet periods of AAA first-party stuff with AAA third-party stuff, and now the deck is kind of stacked to go again. And I feel like Uncharted's part of it, and we'll touch on some of the others soon. But I think that's a big part of it, and it's probably due. If that thing is legit, and I don't see why you would put a reference to it in there if there's not something to it. I feel like it's about time. So Uncharted, I'm expecting Uncharted to come back out, and that it's been
almost 10 years. It's been a while.
2024. So yeah, it's been 7 years since Lost Legacy.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting about that one.
Yeah, because Uncharted 4 was 16 and then Lost Legacy was 17. So yeah, it's been 7 years. Or will have been about 7 years later this year. So that's enough time, I think.
Yeah. I'm not complaining if it's
yeah.
But it's going to be interesting if it's not Naughty Dog.
Well, that's the thing. It won't be Naughty Dog. So that's my big question. It's like, who does it?
Get the one, I know, say get the Tomb Raider people in, but they're making their own Tomb Raider game.
And somehow trying to make Perfect Dark work, and everyone seems pretty doom and gloom about how that's going. So,
no chance. What a shame.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame. But anyway, we'll have some Xbox predictions in the next couple of weeks ahead of their showcase and Summer Games Fest and all that. So, more on Perfect Dark in the near future, I'm sure. Over to you.
This one's not really aimed at any game, but I feel like there's just going to be a remake of a classic game.
How classic are we talking about? Because
I don't know. If you're going off the PlayStation Essentials, anything PS4 and back, by the sounds of it, that's what they deem as classic.
Because we've already got one. We've already got one that's confirmed
Horizon.
from the PS4.
Horizon.
No, I mean confirmed. So Until Dawn remake was announced last year or earlier this year. That's on the way, and I presume coming out before the end of this year. But yeah, you probably hit on the other one there, which is Horizon. We've heard the reports.
Well, I'd like to think something PS3 and back.
That'd be nice.
I don't know.
Medieval 2?
Ooh.
Because that was rumoured. Hang on. Medieval 2 remake. There was a report a month ago today, conveniently enough, as of when we record this. Medieval 2 will debut at the speculated PlayStation Showcase in May. The report originates from no idea who that is. A supposed play tester who previously leaked details about the upcoming Gravity Rush projects and alleges that the game is being handled by the same team who shipped the 2019 remake, which was I've forgotten their name now. Something about water, ocean, something like that. Anyway, so you might be onto something though with a remake of.
It could be a remake of a game that no one's.
Other Ocean was the team.
No one wanted, or a remake of a game that everyone's wanted. I mean, they made a remake of Siphon Filter.
Oh,
that'd be great. But we know that's not going to happen.
Or Resistance, or Infamous. Sorry, I had to just throw them in there.
I was thinking Infamous as well. I thought, sure, you could just do a redo of Infamous, but no. They're too busy making another game. Or just give it to... Was it Bluepoint? Blueprint.
But Bluepoint, but actually that's a good one. But they're working on a new IP apparently, because that was something that leaked through the Insomniac leaks. So,
of course, Bungie's not doing much, are they? No, they're apart from setting themselves on fire,
saving Destiny. Apparently, that showcase about Destiny 2, like a few weeks back or whatever, has just revitalized the entire community. They're losing their mind over what's it called? What's that final DLC?
No idea. The Queen.
The final shape.
Final creative.
Destiny 2. Final shape. Yeah, final shape. June 4th. It's 2 weeks away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are we in June already? Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. We're that close. It's crazy.
Already? Insane.
So, yeah. And they're working on Marathon as well. So, I think Bungie's pretty busy.
Forgot about Marathon. Another game we saw last year and haven't seen anything since.
Oh, I had Final Shape on my list. I don't know why I didn't look there. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
But yeah, you touched on Bluepoint. That's a fascinating one, and they're a possibility. New IP, Destiny 2 Final Shape will be accounted for, and that'll definitely show up too, because why wouldn't you if you're PlayStation at this point? There's a bit of goodwill behind it after it kind of fumbled for a while there. I'll make this I'll lean into your Horizon stuff that you touched on before, because there's been a lot of news about Horizon this week. Have you caught up with any of it?
No.
All right, so let's start with the remake.
No, about the Lego.
There's been no further reporting about the remake, but that feels like a foregone conclusion at this point, and the timing feels about right since the reporting first came out for that to finally pop its head up. But yeah, the Lego one. The Lego one's crazy. Now I'm okay with it, got my Lego. Which way do I move? Anyway,
The
that
other
one.
way. But don't you have two?
That's a BD one from
I
Star
thought
Wars.
I thought it was that stupid mammoth one. Oh
Yeah,
no, that's not
I got the
Lego.
two.
That's
I
not
got the
Lego,
two
mate.
elephants.
Yeah, I realised that's not Lego though. I just remembered.
Yeah, they're just the statues. I do need to get a Thunderjaw, but anyway, I'll do that at some other point. So yeah, they've kind of had the collaboration already, and I wonder if part of it. Oh, I'm like struggling. Yeah, I'm wondering if that isn't like a sign of what was to come in the first place. Like, let's collaborate here, and oh, maybe we could do a game like this, and the Lego, I can imagine you taking down a giant monster, and it's Lego pieces just smashing off it as you.
And it's like Lego Star Wars. You just collect all the little Lego pieces.
Yeah, I don't know why the game needs to exist. To be fair, but I could see it. But I could see it working. Like it could work. I just would wonder why. In that case,
Why? Yes, but the thing is with Lego games, for some reason they work. I scratch my head at it. I can't understand why. Like you look at Fortnite, they went into Lego form, and for some reason, it worked.
yeah,
And then you look at all the Lord of the Rings Lego, Indiana Jones Lego, Star Wars Lego, Batman Lego. For some reason, they all work, and you scratch your head and go, "How?" It makes no sense.
yeah, it doesn't.
But it works. It just works, and I don't understand why. It's just weird.
So, continuing the Horizon thing. So you've got the Lego one, and yeah, it feels like it's almost certain. And there was a trademark leak, so that's lock that one in at this point. There's the remake, and then there's the online projects as well. Remember that Skyline project that we went through?
Oh yes.
Which is being developed by NCSoft. That font that they used for the logo is 100% the Horizon. Like there's a lot of Horizon that could be showing up now. In a similar sort of way that Insomniac comes out and does their thing and shows off a whole bunch of Marvel. I think we could be getting a lot of Horizon as well. And as a Horizon lover, that's fine, but I could totally see people getting burnt out. And I think we're hitting a point where it could be too much Horizon. There's this. I think there's meant to be 2 online projects in the works. One of them will quite possibly be shown. You've got Horizon 3 that is somewhere in development as well. Won't show up, but I'm worried that we're going to get too much Horizon, and we could get too much Horizon in this one show as well with 3 games up to 3 games.
I mean, we had the VR of Horizon that no one played because no one brought a VR. We also had the DLC last year as well. Now we're coming up with Lego, more projects. Just ease off on the Horizon, boys. You don't ruin a good thing.
That's exactly it. You can have too much of a good thing, and that's my worry that we might be about to get too much Horizon, and burnout becomes real. You can have too much of a good thing, exactly like Marvel. The irony that we're then expecting potentially 3 Marvel-related titles all to show up here at least.
Hey, they're not movies, and it's Spider-Man, so everyone doesn't care.
Yeah,
Well,
true.
no. Well, yes, and Wolverine.
And if Venom shows up in game form, it's likely to be better than the new Venom movie that got announced. So people might just take it.
That's not hard to do though. Anything Sony makes in movies is absolute garbage. I mean, everyone's
Mostly.
forgotten about that. Was it Madam Web? That went off well with people, and even
Of course they
Morbius.
did, because they're all just looking at Sydney Sweeney.
And Morbius, the people.
Yeah,
that
there's
were
no
trolling
there's
the
no saving
internet.
that one.
I mean, the people that were trolling the internet so much that they brought it back because everyone thought, oh, people want to see it. No, they didn't. No one saw it again for the second time. You fool.
You got played.
Absolute fools. You got played by the internet, like everyone does.
Everyone has their turn. So I think that's back over to you then.
I've only got one more.
Oh, okay.
And I think they'll leave this one till the end. The big announcement will be Silk Song 2.
Silk Song 2.
No. The big Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
You would think. Which is going to be very, very interesting considering that Ubisoft dropped the trailer this week for their Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
game.
I reckon they did that knowing full well what was coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely knew what was coming, and they wanted to get in front of it.
Oh, absolutely. I looked at it and go, yeah, probably a good call. And everyone's like going, oh, but Ghost of Tsushima did it first. But yeah, but Ghost of Tsushima, people compared it to
Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
So there's no weird. It's like full circle saying, oh, look, it's Ghost of Tsushima rip off. This that like no well, when I remember playing Ghost of Tsushima and I thought, yeah, it feels like Assassin's Creed. Great.
Yeah.
It looks like the story is exactly true. Go. This is Ubisoft one, not
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Shadows. Yes, it's kind of your generic, I would say, samurai story. Big. I don't know what they're called.
It's the Last
Big
Samurai.
boss.
No.
Yeah, yeah. Big boss man burns your village down. Probably kills your family. You want revenge, like every samurai game out there.
Yeah.
Trek to Yomi, same thing. Ghost of Tsushima, same thing.
Same thing.
And Assassin's Creed Shadow, exactly.
Probably the same thing. So, but yeah, I think you're right about that one. And for me, and I guess this is a little bit of peeking behind the curtain stuff, I will not name names, but I've been chatting to a developer from Sucker Punch about coming on Dev Diary for quite some time now, and we were going to do it in January until the rug was pulled out from the both of us. Andrew Goldfarb, who used to be at IGN, a lot of people would know from IGN, but he's these days the comms PR person at Sucker Punch. And I presume in collaboration with the team more broadly and maybe executive level said, nah, now's not the time. Let's delay this thing. So in my head all year, and based on nothing more than just Dev Diary was planned and then postponed without really a good reason being given. In my head, I've gone, this has to happen this year. And when you pair that with the fact that Ghost of Tsushima, the PC version has just come out, it feels like an
countries as well.
Well, yeah, selected countries because of PSN. And yet, actually, very positive for the reviews on Steam for that at the moment. So, whatever. They're a fickle bunch, the PC gamers. Yeah, I went and checked it before.
Like Helldivers 2, where they absolutely review bombed that, and I forgot what the studio's Arrowhead.
Arrowhead, yeah.
Funny enough, said, right, we're going to make a cape of the review chart, and only people
have they?
Is
that what it
is? I think there was a thing they was gonna. I don't know if it's true or not, but they're gonna make a flag of like the negative view drop on Steam and put it as a cape, but it was only allowed for people with PSN numbers.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, very positive based on 86% of the 5,739 user reviews for the game are positive so far. Yeah. Anyway, I won't do any more diving for that at the moment. But if it was going to get bombed, it was going to get bombed at the beginning. So that hasn't happened. Yeah. So for me, like it's kind of a 1-2 punch. It's a really obvious 1-2 punch for me. So, and Sucker Punch themselves are due. It's been 4 years, and probably 5 by the time the game actually comes out. So I think you're 100% right with that one. It feels like a sure. Almost as sure a thing as you can possibly have going into this particular showcase in terms of new announcements.
I say, is it almost a guarantee like Silk Song 2? You're just hoping one day.
I'm never guaranteeing Silk Song ever again, but I'm going to predict it every single time. Xbox Showcase or Summer Games Fest, it'll be there. But anyway, so did you have any more or?
No, that's it. I'd just say Final Fantasy 9 remake. But I don't know if that will be there or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. That's one I'm unlike Silk Song. That's one I'm just not going to get carried away about. I'm just going to wait and then lose my mind when the time comes. All right. Well, I'll try and wheel through some of my remaining predictions a little bit faster. Then you touched on Helldivers. I feel like we're going to get a bit of a roadmap for that, and I think this is a good opportunity to maybe have them come out and say, okay, we're going to do these sort of collaborations. We've discussed this before, but these sort of collaborations with other PlayStation IP. I could see like a Killzone Planet or something like that where you're fighting on Helgen and you got the Helghast, something like that. It's clever ways to kind of leverage other IP to get extra interest from the PlayStation community.
So imagine if you did something like Little Big Planet or Ratchet and Clank.
Oh my god. Yeah, that Ratchet and Little Big Planet would be an interesting one, but
I was trying to think of the most kid-friendly PlayStation games out there, and then Helldivers,
and then launching democracy upon them,
and just add a bomb in your favorite lovable characters.
Why not?
That game? I can't remember if it was a PlayStation game. Oh, no, it was the Mana game with the smiling monsters.
Oh yeah, and they're just beating the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Or people can just bomb them like they're bombing Phil Spencer's. Actually, we spoke about this in last week's episode.
Yes, but Adam Bobby. Yes, go on.
Did you see what happened the day after he got bombed?
No, I didn't.
He
You unlock something.
he went and
So he
completed
could
a, he
go
went and
bomb
completed
people,
a
yeah.
quest so that he could go and bomb people. I think that is one of the funniest. Whether he does anything is or not is completely irrelevant. The fact that he gets blown into oblivion by people off the back of
right,
obviously all the
that's
studio
it.
closures, and he goes, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go get the nukes myself and sit there with the
Or-
trigger." I think it's
Or
awesome.
or you got the work experience kid to go, right, this is what your job for today. Get me to the ability to nuke people.
Here, take it, champ.
And you'll have a job here, well, until you get laid off. But no,
In spectacular fashion.
in spectacular fashion, but
Um,
at least you achieve something.
I've got one more before I start talking about shooters. So, Astrobot. There's been quite a few rumors that Astrobot might turn up again. And again, it's been 4 years since the launch of the console. We've got the team there that's been kind of working away for a little while now. Astrobot is their little mascot. It's that family-friendly sort of character as well.
Perfect for Helldivers.
Perfect for Helldivers too. But also, yeah, I think maybe a game later in the year, and that does fit the mold of PlayStation saying none of the big hitters for the remainder of the year. Like, okay, that's fine. I get it. But Astrobot's not a big hitter. So I think that kind of fits the bill. That could turn up. And then from there, we've got the live service and one other little theory. Concord was and Fair Games were the two additional live service games that were announced during last year's showcase. Concord was announced as being a late 2024 game, and there's been no messaging so far to confirm that's not the case anymore. So I feel like we're about to get this big showing for that particular game. We learn about what it is, how it plays, how they, I don't think we know whether it's PvP, PvE, PvPvE, any of that. We know nothing yet.
PVC,
Yeah, glue.
PPE.
Mask up, everyone. Get rid of that shit. I threw it on the ground.
Oh no, you're
Gross.
thinking PVA. That's glue.
Oh, what's PV? Yeah, what's PVC?
That's just pipe. That's like plastic.
Oh yeah, that's right. The plastic. Yeah. Whoops, got my things mixed up. PVA. Yeah, I feel like Concord will come back. I feel like they could wheel out Fair Games as well, especially after what's the other one where you kind of criminals breaking into. It's just like a heist game. I keep forgetting. There's been 3 of them. There's one.
Payday.
Payday. After Payday 3 didn't kind of light it up when it first came out, and people just went straight back to Payday 2. There's like a prime opportunity for him to go, no, this is what you want. And maybe it doesn't come out this year, but to kind of show it off again, I feel like those two could be pretty clear contenders. But my last prediction, I'll admit I'm kind of stealing this a little bit. I was listening to Sacred Symbols last week, the Colin Moriarty show. And Chris Raygun, who's usually just, I mean, he really very much knows his video games and knows shooters specifically, but isn't necessarily known for having insider news and that sort of thing. Very confidently came out last week and said he's spoken to people and PlayStation has a shooter coming. He didn't know whether it was first party or second party, but they have an exclusive shooter on the way.
Really?
And I'll back him in because he when you're sitting alongside someone like Colin who wheels out kind of these insider things all the time, and he's been witness to when plans change or something like that. Like he was certain about a secondary showcase last year for PlayStation that then didn't really happen in the end. He'd been told by people, and then the plans just changed. I think Chris is very much aware, having witnessed that this is what can happen when you get things wrong. And so I think if he's coming out there saying, without a track record really, and going, there's a shooter coming, I reckon you can take it to the bank. And again, you pair that with, PlayStation having had a couple of years to go, okay, Call of Duty is not out, we can't wring the money out of Activision/Xbox in the same way that we could have in the past, let alone, who knows how the community kind of shifts and moves if Xbox comes out and announces, only a couple of weeks later, really, that, get the game on Xbox and you'll get early access to these maps, or the old sort of model they used to have back in the 360 days. If they go back to that could shift a few million people back the other way. So maybe coming out and having some sort of announcement would be good. I don't know, but I'm inclined to believe Chris. Whatever it is, some sort of exclusive shooter, and it'll be a nice change of pace too, considering everything else is third-person action or dad simulators.
Dad simulators.
So. Um, I know. What do you think about the idea of PlayStation getting their hands on a shooter again? Now, whether it's something new, whether it's the return of Resistance, Killzone, SOCOM, etc. How's that
It's
idea sit?
I say it's nice because it's finally nice to see I would say a first party or exclusive
Yeah,
game on PlayStation that's not either third person, which we've seen the last 15 years, or a racing game,
yeah.
being Gran Turismo.
Gran
Because
Turismo.
that's the one thing we've always said, that PlayStation needs a first person shooter game, and the one thing they've struggled with is first person shooter games. Not
Well, the thing
struggled.
is, they weren't. They just
Yeah, so say they had developers
gave
that
up on
made
them.
first person shooter games, but then they just stopped making them.
Yeah.
There was Killzone, there was Resistance, and there was one more
SOCOM,
I can't remember.
SOCOM, MAG.
SOCOM. Oh,
SOCOM
man.
was SOCOM was an unlucky one because it launched like a day or two before the PlayStation hack, when everything got shut down.
Okay.
And so when you're an online game, you're fresh launch, and then suddenly for a month people can't play it, and there's no point in buying it. Like that kills your brand, and it killed SOCOM. So that one wasn't totally their fault, but yeah, I think there's opportunities to come back. Whether it's, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what it is, if it's true. It could be third person for all we know as well. Like it.
That's going to
I
disappoint
don't-
me. Well, not really, but it's just a first person. I just want to see a first person.
Here's one question for you before we wrap things up, and this can be kind of a link to. I mean, we're going to do our updates episode next week, and then probably the week after that will be predictions for Xbox and Summer Games Fest and all that sort of thing. Here's a question for you that will link to that episode in a couple of weeks from now. Will there or will there not be an Xbox game in the PlayStation Showcase?
Oh,
So
yeah.
in the same way that obviously we've seen the 4 games come across already, people are already speculating about Hellblade. There's been this constant speculation about Gears, all those sorts of things. Will there be an Xbox game that makes the jump, or gets announced to make the jump?
Yes. Grabbed by the ghoulies.
That's a letdown.
No, there will be. I don't know. We can say, wait,
Blinks the
Grounded's
Time
already-
Sweeper.
Blinks the Time Sweeper, yeah. Conker's Bad Fur Day Reloaded.
Yeah. And yeah, you
Yeah,
said granted,
actually,
all 4 of those
actually-
games have come across.
Actually, what they can have is Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, and just realize how bad that game is, which is not a good sign. But I don't know, because I think Grounded's already gone there.
Yeah,
CFP's
so
gone there.
all 4 of those games have come across. So Pentiment, Grounded, Sea of Thieves, and Hi-Fi Rush have all made the jump. So all 4 that were announced have already arrived. The last of them was Sea of Thieves on April 30th, I think it was. Because, yeah, in that one day, it became the top-selling game for PlayStation for the month. But,
Wow.
that does open up, and, we can... I think the direction now for Xbox is very, very clear after Sarah Bond's stuff last week and all the other commentary around what's going on there. It seems super obvious that these games are coming across. Does Starfield get announced?
Sure,
So
why
then
not?
they don't have to say, oh, from our friends at Xbox, or we don't have to have the Xbox branding on. We just go from our friends at Bethesda. Here's Starfield, and it'll come in time for the Shattered Space expansion that comes out later in the year.
Sure, because it'll go to #1 on PlayStation for the month again. So if that's the case, then I
Yeah.
see Xboxes. So for Xbox, that is a win, because they need any win they can get.
They just care about the money now, clearly. So,
Obviously.
well, yeah, I think we're close to becoming Microsoft Gaming, and I think that's all they care about is making the money. And so, if that's the case, then they don't have to worry about their console. They'll do what PlayStation does with PC: launch on the Xbox, extract as much as they can from it through Game Pass, or I don't know, the 5 people out there that actually buy games on Xbox now, and then go, okay, time to start selling it elsewhere. And so it's too soon for Hellblade, but I think that's inevitable. But Starfield,
Give
we
that
might
a
be there.
year, I reckon, for Hell, or maybe even less. Not a year for Hellblade, maybe 6 months.
yeah, it could be like a Game Awards announcement or something like that. But
I don't see Forza going to.
wouldn't that be fascinating if you got Forza and Gran
If you do
Turismo
that,
on the same platform?
I reckon people just start throwing their Gran Turismo game in the bin.
Well,
I don't know. So I don't think it's that bad, but I think
I
Horizon.
yeah,
I think if you did Motorsports 2 versus Gran Turismo, it might be an interesting to see the difference. But Horizon's very different to
Maybe that's what happens though going forward. Maybe Xbox goes, all right, well, maybe there's no point in sticking with motorsport anymore, because if we're going to go multi-plat and people can see this game's going to come to PlayStation eventually as well, why do we bother with putting it on PlayStation? We're not going to get the money from that because people have already made their choice at PlayStation. They've chosen Gran Turismo. So why don't we just focus our attention on Horizon, where PlayStation doesn't have that sort of thing, and when we launch it on PlayStation, anyway, that's a whole fascinating one anyway. But I don't think Forza will show up now, but
maybe Viva Pinata.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Why not? All right. Any other last minute thoughts at all about the PlayStation Showcase? Presumably this week.
It could not be any worse than last year's showcase.
Yeah.
As long as you don't say anything silly, everything will be fine.
Virtuous cycle.
Don't say innovation is our passion. Don't say that again.
It's all right. Jim is gone.
Jim's gone with his PlayStation 1, PS5 design.
It'll be old mate Hiroki Totoki at the top going, we like money. It'll just be Mr. Krabs.
Dressed in a Mr. Krabs outfit.
Yeah. Good times.
And cut out the stupid animations too. Don't go down that path. The stupid light shows of your 4.
Oh, the sacred symbols. No, they'll keep doing that.
It is not Play School. If it's not a window shape, I don't care. Or what window we're going through today.
All of them.
Window, all of them.
The X window. How do you get through that? Just make it work.
Figure it out yourself.
All right, we'll wrap things up there. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about the PlayStation Showcase. What games do you expect to see announced? What would you like to see announced versus what do you realistically think will happen? Put all your thoughts in the comments anyway. We'd love to hear them. Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series, Patch, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Stay tuned for a Versus piece that will inevitably be written by myself and someone from the Player 2 editorial team about the PlayStation Showcase.
Someone.
Yeah, it's me and whoever I can get at the time.
Someone.
Jess or Matt or Steven or whoever it ends up being. So stay tuned for that sometime down the line as well. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. You can give $2, lower tiers early access, higher tiers monthly episode exclusives, and finally there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_Phil. You can also buy a t-shirt on Redbubble.
Yes. That, depending on when you buy it, may or may not have everyone's names on it.
Well, mine doesn't.
Yours is unique. Yours is collector's edition now.
I need it signed, so it's more, the value goes up.
Shit. Yeah, just catch up with everyone on the team and just put their signatures next to it. But you go, oh, sorry, Swinbanks, you missed out. You weren't there at the time.
Who are the other people that didn't get it? Oh, that's too bad. You don't get to sign it.
Yeah.
It is my fault that we figured out that some people didn't make the cut.
That there was an older version that got submitted by mistake.
Oh dear.
We've seen this before. Anyway.
They sold one t-shirt. I now own it.
Visit the Redbubble store. Go check out the Player 2 merch. Renee's done an amazing job putting together all the graphics for them. But otherwise, thanks a lot for watching. Check out the PlayStation Showcase. It better happen this week, but I think it probably will. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you later.